Nobody wins when the family feuds, y'all. Absolutely. There are no winners when the family feuds. But let's get into this one. Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. So, today, you guys, we got to talk about the Beckham family, Bend It Like Beckham, the whole thing. Because there is beef, there is problems, there is trauma, there is drama. Now, I noticed that there was tension with Victoria Beckham and David Beckham and their son, Brooklyn Beckham, over the holidays when it appeared as though allegedly he had blocked his parents. And I remember the parents coming out basically saying, look at here, we love all of our kids. We wish all the best, all of this, all of that. Well, things have now escalated. I believe the source and the root of the issue is David and Victoria Beckham do not like Brooklyn's wife. I feel like that is the source and the root of the issue, is what is the cause of this family rift. But nonetheless, we are going to get into, you know what I'm saying, what has happened, what is taking place, and everything else. So Brooklyn took to the Instagram stories, to the Instagrammies, to tell us, you know what I'm saying, what his problem is. So Brooklyn says the following: I have been silent for years and made every effort to keep these matters private. Unfortunately, my parents and their team have continued to go to the press, leaving me with no choice but to speak for myself and tell the truth about only some of the lies that have been printed. I do not want to reconcile with my family. I'm not being controlled. I'm standing up for myself for the first time in my life. For my entire life, my parents have controlled narratives in the press about our family. The performative social media posts, family events, and inauthentic relationships have been a fixture of the life I was born into. Recently, I have seen with my own eyes the lengths that they will go through to place countless lies in the media, mostly at the expense of innocent people, to preserve their own facade. But I believe the truth always comes out. The night before our wedding, members of my family told me that Nicola was, quote, not blood and, quote, not family. No. Since the moment I started standing up for myself with my family, I've received endless attacks from my parents, both privately and publicly, that were sent to the press on their orders. Even my brothers were sent to attack me on social media before they ultimately blocked me out of nowhere this last summer. My mom hijacked my first dance with my wife, no, which had been planned weeks in advance, to a romantic love song in front of our 500 wedding guests. Marc Anthony called me to the stage where the schedule was planned to be my romantic dance with my wife, but instead my mom was waiting to dance with me instead. She danced very inappropriately on me in front of everyone. Oh my. I've never felt more uncomfortable or humiliated in my entire life. We wanted to renew our vows so we could create new memories of our wedding day that bring us joy and happiness, not anxiety and embarrassment. My wife has consistently been disrespected by my family, no matter how hard we've tried to come together as one. My mom has repeatedly invited women from my past into our lives in ways that were clearly intended to both make us uncomfortable. Oh no, was she trying to get Brooklyn to cheat on this wife? Oh no. Despite this, we still traveled to London for my dad's birthday, and we were rejected for a week as we waited in our hotel room trying to plan quality time with him. He refused all of our attempts unless it was at his big birthday party with 100 guests and cameras at every corner. When he finally agreed to see me, it was under the condition that Nicola wasn't invited. No. It was a slap in the face. Later, when my family traveled to LA, they refused to see me at all. My family values public promotion and endorsements above everything else. Brand Beckham comes first. Family quote-unquote love is decided by how much you post on social media or how quickly you drop everything to show up and pose for a family photo op, even if it is at the expense of our professional obligations. We've gone out of our way for years to show up and support at every fashion show, every party, and every press activity to show, quote, our perfect family. But the one time my wife asked for my mom's support to save displaced dogs during the LA fires, my mom refused. The narrative that my wife controls me is completely backwards. I have been controlled by my parents for most of my life. I grew up with overwhelmingly anxiety. For the first time in my life since stepping away from my family, that anxiety has disappeared. I wake up every morning grateful for the life I chose, and I have found peace and relief. My wife and I do not want a life shaped by the image or press or manipulation. All we want is peace, privacy, and happiness for us and our future family. Child, here's the thing. Here's the thing that, you know what I'm saying, I've learned, I've seen, or I've known people that have experienced this with family members and who they choose to date, who they choose to marry, so on and so forth, is say you don't like their significant other or say you don't see it for their spouse. I think the worst thing to do is to try to do anything that is going to break them up or cause harm, even if you see or know something that you might be in the right about. Because what's going to happen, that's going to push that relative, that's going to push that family member closer to that person. And it's going to feel like how Brooklyn Beckham is feeling right now. It's going to feel like an us against the world type of thing. And then Brooklyn's going to get closer to his wife Nicola's family as a result, because he's going to feel like his family, you know what I'm saying, is only about the image. But I knew something was off, you know what I'm saying, when Victoria chose to stay with David Beckham after the alleged cheating. After the alleged cheating, you still are trying to stick this out because you want to be Mrs. David Beckham. And so I kind of knew then. I was like, okay, all right, I see where this is. You know what I'm saying? And at times where allegedly she didn't want to reunite with the Spice Girls. Like I've seen different things where it's like, okay, I try to, see the bigger picture, see what's going on. But there have been times over the years that I'm like, this kind of feels like PR. This kind of feels like we're presenting the brand, kind of like of what Brooklyn is saying. And I think it is very disrespectful for the first dance of the husband and wife to be interrupted, you know what I'm saying, by your parent. I mean, aren't you, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to have the father-daughter dance. You're supposed to have, you know what I'm saying, the mother-son dance, everything else. Like, why is she coming in between the first dance as husband and wife? That's weirdo behavior. But it's clear to me, I don't know the reasons as to why David and Victoria do not like Brooklyn's wife, but that is very weird that allegedly they're trying to, you know what I'm saying, try to sabotage the marriage or try to allegedly bring in exes or potentially hoping that Brooklyn plays Nicola or cheats on her or whatever else. Like, that is very weird. To me, this doesn't sound like somebody who, you know what I'm saying, is being controlled. This sounds like somebody who's had it. This sounds like somebody who has been holding in for years a lot of family secrets, a lot of drama, a lot of chaos, and they're sick of it. They finally let it out because they're tired of the false narratives. And you know, with the UK press, whether it's the Sun, the Daily Mail, all of the things, you know that they are relentless. We've seen how relentless they were with Meghan Markle. So if that is, or if those are publications that are in the Beckham's pocket, you know what I'm saying? They can frame this as Brooklyn's the one, he's being controlled. His wife is a witch. She's evil. She's trying to take him for everything and all this and all that. Mind you, she comes from, I believe her family's a billionaire as well. Very successful family, all this and all of that. But my point is, when y'all try to force these breakups or try to force this stuff in the family, it always backfires, because either a couple of things end up happening. Either they end up staying together longer than they should if there is really something wrong, or if this is all a projection, or, you know, whatever else, what ends up happening is they don't speak anymore. You don't speak to the relative. You go years, days, weeks, months, you know what I'm saying, without speaking, because of the toxicity of it all. Because they know that you don't like their significant other. Now, there are some people, you know what I'm saying, they'll show up without their spouse. They'll still try to have, you know, the best of both worlds. Like, maybe I'll just show up to these events without my significant other, without my spouse, so that way it's cool, because my family doesn't have an issue with me. They have an issue with who I chose to be with. You know what I'm saying? But that happens sometimes in families too, where they'll just show up without their significant other. But this is really crazy. This is really crazy. But this is going to deal with mixed reviews, because I feel like, because we don't have the full story, they're going to either say that Brooklyn's coming off as spoiled and as a brat, is entitled. There are going to be people who are going to be teen parents. But I feel like the biggest issue that it sounds like to me, deciphering between what is true and what isn't, it sounds like there's a boundary issue. And it sounds like, if it is true that they are allowing their hatred for their son's wife to ruin their actual family time and family bonding and everything else, that's not okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, you can't help sometimes who you fall for, who you fall in love with. But here's the thing. If it's not going to work out, if it turns out that somebody's horrible or somebody's using somebody, Brooklyn has to find that out for himself. But if the family's trying to force that upon him, it's going to draw him closer to his wife. So, nonetheless, time will tell if what your concerns are valid, or you just don't like the person that he married. And I feel like that's the piece that we got to get to the bottom of. Is it just you just don't like the person that he married? Or has she done some stuff to where you felt that it was not a fit for the family? But I feel like there's a big missing piece of the story. A big missing piece of this story that we need to get to the bottom of, to find out how it got to this point. That you're blocking your parents on the holidays, that only you're allowed to appear, but your wife can't appear around the family, and everything else. We need something else. We need context. So that's all I got to say on that. That is it. That is all. Es todos, es final. Es finito. It's the end of the road. It's the end of the line for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.